folks, things change. They do. One of the things that used to be just a political gospel was 6 months was a lifetime. It was a lifetime in politics. People had incredibly short political memories. You just didn't remember things, I mean, you could get away with damn near anything because people would forget. And that just seems to have changed. It's just one of those political realities that we're dealing with is that things change. And I have to tell you, the corporate media is having a hard time keeping up with that fact. They are really having some difficulty. Because if you haven't heard, Trump has raised a bojillion dollars. A bojillion dollars. He's making so much money, the website's crashing since he got convicted. Yeah, that's a load of crap. That is just a load of crap. Thank you for the support, folks. I really appreciate you. Man, I hope your coffee's as good as mine. It's really hitting good today. But yeah, let's put a pin in that. Let's just pause for a second about that bojillion dollars. I think it's I think they're like up to claiming $70 million now he raised since getting convicted. Yeah, that's a lie. That's a lie. And we know this isn't the first time they've done it. But the disappointing part is the corporate media is all in on it. This is their headlines. I mean, again, not putting words in anyone's mouth, just showing you what people say. This is their headlines. Trump raises 52 million, 53 million. And now that's actually changed now that's to 73 million. If you look online, the numbers, the Trump campaign saying, oh, we raised 73 million. But all the corporate media outlets are just running with it. Except now they aren't. If you go up here to the actual top stories, the stories that they put up as, oh, this is what we want to talk about. Yeah, that fundraising story is gone. And the reason it's gone is you folks, y'all called bullshit on this immediately. Immediately. This isn't the first time they've done this. It's not. It's not the first time they've done this. You remember when Trump was indicted? You remember when that happened? What'd they say? Oh, it's going to be terrible. It's just going to galvanize the right. And they're just going to, oh my God, Trump is raising so much money. It was $6 million. Then it was $12 million. Then it was $30 million that he raised because we had dared to indict him. Yeah. No, when the FEC filings came out, it was $3 million. They lied by a factor of 10. This is NBC, one of the same outlets that were more than happy to report it. Oh, it was $6 million. It was 12, no, it was $3 million. And then again, when he was arraigned in Florida, they said same message. Oh my God, they're just going to galvanize the right. It's just going to make the right wing just turn out. And oh my God, he's made $10 million today. No, it was $1 million. It was $1 million. And it will be the same thing when the FEC filings come out about today. Yeah, he's going to get a fundraising bump. He is. There are just some numbskulls out there. Amen. Break out the fact bat because we've got to live in reality. Amen, brother. Breaking out the fact bat on them. We have to live in reality, folks. Our government has to run in reality. We can't live by these tabloid games that the corporate media is just seems to be more than willing to play. Life can't be run that way. It just can't. And I promise you, when the FEC filings come out, he'll get a fundraising bump. He will. Don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be much. It'll be off by a factor of 10. He might have raised $3 to $5 million. If they had run with that story and said that, it would have been a political win for him. It would have. Not the whole event. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the convictions and the fallout from it a little bit. But yeah, had they just not been Trump and lied and made it such an obvious lie, it would have been some positive spin for them off of this. But no, they had to do it. They always have to do it because that's what the Republican Party is, folks. They live off this air of inevitability. See, people follow strength. They don't follow ideas. They don't follow, people think that they're conservatives or they're liberals or this and that. I will tell you the God's honest truth about politics and people, and it's been the truth since the dawn of man. People follow strength. They do. Now, the strongest place to be is where we Democrats are, where we can stand up and say, these are ideas. This is what we believe. Damn it, we're going to do this and do it exuding strength. That is the best place to be. But Republicans can't do that. Aveen Hawk says, let's play a game. Every time they lie about a donations, we donate to Biden. Amen. I'm with you on that one. Lori Yates, thanks for the support. I really appreciate you guys keeping the lights on around here. Keeping the message loud. But, folks, it's really not difficult. If you have paid attention to politics, people follow strength. They do. And that's all the Republicans sell. They are hurt. They were wounded by this. And we're going to talk about a little bit more the ways in which they were cut. They have arteries bleeding now over this. They lashed themselves to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is a convicted felon. And it's not a difficult, complex crime to understand. He lied. He lied. He lied in his campaign. It's that simple. He did something awful. He slept with a porn star when his wife was home taking care of his baby, his brand new baby. He's out screwing porn stars, didn't want to be held accountable for that. So he lied. He falsified business records to lie, to protect his image. This is not a difficult, this is something everybody gets. Everybody understands it. So the Republican spin has to be to somehow claim that this is strength. This is strong. This makes us strong. Thanks for the support, Tara. I appreciate you. Ryan Peaches says, Texas Paul, we appreciate you and the missus for getting the truth out. You and a few others are even worth watching. I appreciate you. I do appreciate you. We're going to wrap the corporate media's knuckles quite a bit today because this is just pathetic. I mean, it's just pathetic. It's the same old shtick. They know it. We know it. And the reason those stories are not the top stories today when they were the top stories last night, we're not in a news cycle, folks. The reason they're not the top stories is they got called to the carpet on it. Everybody on social media started screaming, bullshit. You didn't verify any of this. You took the Trump campaign's word for this, and then you wrote a headline as though it was gospel truth. And it isn't. It is not. Appreciate you, Teresa. I appreciate the support. Mike, I appreciate you. Life is good. I agree with you. Pete, my man Pete showed up. Fact Bet has found its way to Demon's Loser 2000 Fools. I'm telling you. I am telling you. That is hilarious what happened to that, what's been going on with that movie. If you don't know that those right-wing idiots that pumped that movie he's referring to out got it pulled by their publisher because it was so full of crap and they were just embarrassed by it. Maud Day, I'll donate to you. No platform we'll have to learn. Hey, you know what? We've got to support our candidates. We do. We've got to support. I thank you for allowing me to do this full time, but we've got to do that. And while we're talking about that, Mark, appreciate the support, brother. I appreciate you. While we're talking about it, I need you to hit that thumbs up button. That tells the algorithm you're liking what we're doing here, and it gets people here. Hit the subscribe button. That same thing tells the algorithm you like what we're doing here. Sherry Foster, may sound silly, but could you do the Jim Tome batting? No, I don't have any pants on. I'm not standing up. I'm kidding. I have pants on. I'm kidding. Liar, Lauren, or Orange, Mr. Fallon. Appreciate the support, folks. What I'm talking about, though, is this. It's the Republicans' only shtick. They sell this air of inevitability. Oh, we're strong. So what have they been saying since this happened? Oh, this is nothing but good for us. Nothing but good for us. This conviction, man, that makes us strong. We're going to turn out. You got us mad now, brother. Okay. All right. If that's the case, let's let the other trials go through. I'm willing to risk that. Are you willing to risk that? If this really helps them, if it really helps them, if it is really helping them raise money, okay, let's do the rest of the trials. I'm willing to risk that. I'm willing to bet that this isn't really helping you. In fact, I know it's not really helping you. I know it's hurting you deeply. Because I've said this before, but it's worth repeating. Donald Trump was not able to regalvanize the coalition he had in the last election that he lost. Donald Trump already had 10 to 17, 18% of voters, Republican voters, that show up to vote, that do things like show up and vote in primaries. Show up and say, we're never voting for you. We're voting. I'm going to vote for Nikki Haley, who's not even running, who is pulled out of the race. So yeah, the notion that somehow a guy who couldn't even put his old coalition back together and was losing desperately suddenly is better off now that he's a convicted felon, convicted of crimes that are very easy to understand. That's another one that's vanishing off the internet quite quickly, is those people asking, oh yeah, he was convicted of a crime. What crime? You can't even tell us what crime. They just get a dozen answers to that question. Falsifying business records to hide an underlying crime. And the underlying crime was campaign finance violations because he was hiding paying hush money to hookers. Yeah, that question is vanishing from social media completely. But you know, the Republicans have no problem whatsoever with being tied to crime. They really don't. Paulette Tansel, that's it. New around here. Glad to see you. First time supporter. New name to see you. Glad to see you. Thank you, Texas Paul. We appreciate what you're doing. Ride or die. Amen, sister. I'm with you. Thank you for keeping the lights on. Marcia, good to see you. My Fort Worth people in the house. And I do want to stop for a second. You see this patch back here? Hold on. You people send me the coolest stuff. Oh. You people send me the coolest stuff. You see this? You know what this is from? This is an antique, folks. The Grasshopper Coffee House isn't open anymore. It's from a coffee house in Amsterdam. Used to be able to smoke grass. It's an homage to the Texas Paul Potheads. It used to be legal to smoke grass, and it's legal in Amsterdam to smoke grass, but you've got to go to a coffee house to do it. And this was one of the most famous, the Grasshopper Amsterdam Coffee House. I appreciate this. This is from the 70s, folks. This is vintage, man. Thank you for sending it to me. I appreciate you. I really do. Got the mug also. I did. I got the mug. Thank you, guys. I really do appreciate it. I'm not even kidding. This has been through the dishwasher. We're gonna put some coffee in this. This holds a gallon of coffee. Uh, but I did get a gift I didn't really appreciate much. If you were telling me about your weight loss journey, I am glad 100% for you. But if you're sending me a guidebook on how to lose weight, no, not cool. Not cool. Not cool at all. Thank you very much. Oh. I'm glad you brought that up, Mike Monday. That's a great segue where we're going with this. Before we go there, though, there's a couple statements I want to read from the Republican Party. One is, they say, if we speak about Trump, the fact that there is simply the elimination of political rivals by all possible means, legal and illegal, is obvious. They're saying that we're using the DOJ, the Republicans. This is coming from Speaker Mike Johnson, that we're using the political system, the Department of Justice, to eliminate political rivals, and that's a bad thing. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. No, that's actually not from Mike Johnson. That was a statement from Dmitry Peskov. Vladimir Putin's opponent is talking about this here in the United States. But we do have a statement that has come out from Tim Scott. He says that Trump is a man of honor. As president, he has always put America first. The American people will make their verdict this November. Keep fighting, Mr. President. I guess that they believe, yeah, Tim Scott is a fool, but I got to tell you, I got to be honest, that isn't Tim Scott. That was a statement from Viktor Orban. Yeah, that was a statement put out yesterday from Viktor Orban, the dictator of Hungary. And you get the shtick here, right? These are the exact same statements coming out of the Republican Party, but these are coming out of Putin, Viktor Orban. This is from Matteo Salvini. He's the head of the fascist faction in the Italian government. He is deputy to Meloni. He says solidarity and full support of Trump, victim of judicial harassment. We are sadly familiar with the weaponization of the justice system by the left. Stay strong. And Nigel Farage of Brexit fame, Putin's flunky in England, says, stay strong, Mr. Trump. Yeah. And that's not being discussed by the corporate media. These statements that I just read you are not from the Republican Party. Well, actually, they are from the Republican Party, and that's the story. How did Putin and his flunkies, his top flunkies in Europe, and the Republican Party all instantaneously end up on the same talking point? Verbatim. You tell me, folks. You know how the Republican Party operates. I'm going to say with Arsentelis, I'm killing your last name, and I'm so sorry, Miguel. I need you to tell me how to say. I hate mispronouncing people's names. I need you to tell me how to say this. Phoneticize it for me so I can pronounce your name correctly. I'm going to say Arsentelis. Arsentelis. Thank you. After listening to the Biden is trouble media all week, you give me hope. Might be okay. Yeah. Donald Trump gets convicted of a felony, but let me tell you why it's bad for Biden. No, let me tell you how instantaneously the Republicans are on the exact talking points from Putin, because they're on the exact talking points from Putin. Their staff are being fed directly from Putin what to say. If you have a better explanation as to why the Republican Party is exactly on Putin's talking points about Trump's conviction, I will gladly listen to you. Newest Bill says, whatever they dish will be fed back to them. Karma. Amen, brother. It's happening. We're in the find out time, my brother. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate you. One of my strongest patrons. I appreciate you. Cecilia Kazemi, thank you, Texas Paul, for keeping it real. Yeah. Hey, we've got to talk about this stuff, folks. We have to talk about this stuff, because they're out there claiming we're strong, we're inevitable. Yeah, nothing you do touches us. Yeah, convict Trump. Go ahead, man. Just makes us stronger. Going to turn out. No, you're not. No, you're not. Yeah, some of you are. Some of you are just brainwashed, cultish idiots. That's what you are. But already you've got 10 to 15 to 20, almost 20% of the Republican Party, depending on the region, peeling off from Trump. They are just disgusted by him. And this conviction just makes that worse. It just makes that worse. And if it did make it better, folks, they would be more than happy. They would not be fighting tooth and nail to prevent these trials from happening. If it was working for them, they'd be doing it. They'd be doing it. And the worst part is they're comparing him to Jesus. I mean, just you folks know I am not. I don't follow an Abrahamic religion. I don't do that. But I have no problem with a real Christian. I don't. I know some real Christians that are wonderful human beings. They are examples to uphold. They are. But these people comparing Trump to Jesus, they're like, oh, yeah? Well, you want to know why I'm still supporting Trump even though he was convicted? Well, Jesus broke the law too, and I support him. Yeah, brother. Jesus and Trump, lawbreakers. Yeah, they're trying to spin that. Not even kidding, folks. Go to your social media right now. You will see people spinning, I'm voting for Trump because just like Jesus Christ, he was a lawbreaker. My God. These people, they're so broken. They're so. Steve Alexander says, are the MAGAs going to pray to Trump at the convention? Like, yes. Like the arguing, yes, they are. Yes, they are. 100%. It is a cult, just like Jim Jones and his folks. Yeah, thank you, Lori. I appreciate you. Yes, they are going to. See evil Popeye is abusing the consumer protection laws to target nonprofits. Yes, that's going on. That is a story for later on in the week. But today, this is what we're talking about. Folks, they're weaponizing religion. And I've got to play you a video before we start this because I want you to stick with me.
That's Kamala. And let me tell you, anybody who's trying to turn America into Sodom and Gomorrah is not good for this nation. You're not good for the state, and you ain't good for black folk. We need husbands and wives. We need fathers. We need mothers. Men born male, women born female. We need real people. Wow!
Wow!
That's Kamala. And let me tell you.
Yeah, that's Patrick Wooden. He is anti-gay and rails about it all the time. He is going after Kamala Harris because she presided over a wedding ceremony of two people that happen to be gay. Door to religion open. Yes, I'm going to talk about religion. Stay with me. It's going to be interesting. You trust me, you're going to want to hear it. But door to religion now open. Thank you. Thank you, Patrick Wooden. I appreciate you doing that. I really do. Y'all remember this guy? Y'all remember this guy? I talk about political memory is getting longer. I bet you somebody in the chat can tell you who this guy's name is. I would bet you dollars to donuts that this guy, somebody knows who this guy is. Y'all remember seeing this image? Inspector Gadget. You're funny. You're funny. That's Jack Abramoff. Jack Abramoff. Jack Abramoff was in the whole lobbying religion scene. I knew you'd get it. I knew you folks would get it. Jack Abramoff. What did Jack Abramoff do, and what does it have to do with religion? We're getting there, folks. Jack Abramoff defrauded an Indian tribe to the tune of almost $100 million. What they did was they told these people, you know, hey, we're the biggest lobbyists in DC. We have the in on the church crowd. See, I told you we're going to go to the churches. We are the party of religion, and guess who opposes you being able to have your casinos? That's right, the religious folks do. So you pay us money, and we will lobby on your behalf to all the right people. And we will get you to be able to set up your casinos, and you'll get your $100 million back. Well, they ended up getting convicted because they didn't have the connections, all the connections that they claimed they did. And they actually paid religious organizations to lobby against their own client. Yeah. And they were convicted. That picture was outside a courthouse. It was Jack Abramoff and a guy by the name of Michael Scanlon. Mike Scanlon worked for this guy. I'm sure you remember this guy. This is the guy that was passing out checks on the floor of the House of Representatives. Remember this guy? Tom DeLay? Yeah. They were funneling money to him. But, it was embarrassing for the churches. It really was embarrassing for the churches. It's supposed to be anti-gambling, don't you know? So they funneled money through this guy. This guy is Grover Norquist. Grover Norquist, well, his shtick is supposed to be tax reform. In fact, his organization is called Americans for Tax Reform. He's famous for a couple quotes. He said he wants to shrink the American government down to the size of a baby and then drown it in a bathtub. That's one of his famous quotes. The other one is that they don't need a president. When they were looking for somebody, and right before they found Trump, his famous quote was, "We don't need a president with ideas. We don't need a president with convictions. We need a president with enough working of digits to sign the bills that we put in front of him." Yeah, this guy. So what did this guy do? Well, he took millions of dollars from Jack Abramoff and laundered it. And they got busted for money laundering. His organization got busted for money laundering. For money laundering money to this guy. And I don't mean Trump, the other guy. And I'm sure you know who this is. A lot of people have already posted his name in chat because you're the smartest people I've ever met in my life. But yeah, they, he couldn't take money straight from the Indians for their casinos. Good Lord, I can't do that. Why? Because that guy was the president of the Christian Coalition at the time. He was the president of the Christian Coalition. And a lot of you with good memories remember the Christian Coalition. What the Christian Coalition did was they took the Republican Party and put it in the churches. They used to be a really big deal, folks. Really big deal. Not so much anymore. The Christian Coalition, after this scandal, basically went to hell in a handbasket, and they're nobody anymore. I mean, I move the needle more than the Christian Coalition does, folks. They went from being power brokers in Washington, D.C. to relative obscurity. But that doesn't mean he went away. I mean, and y'all have figured out who we're talking about. It's Ralph Reed. It's Ralph Reed. Well, Ralph Reed he didn't go away. He just rebranded, started a new company, if you will, the Faith and Freedom Coalition. And what these people do and did and have done is they take the Republican Party and they put it in the churches. And then they take the churches and they put it in the Republican Party. It's not a one-way street. It's a both-way, it runs both ways. This is why they have no morals anymore. This is why they could do things like compare Donald Trump to Jesus Christ. And let me tell you, these folks are all in on Donald Trump. They are all in on Donald Trump. This is their homepage, the Faith and Freedom Coalition. This is their homepage. Road to Majority. Their conference, their fundraising. They've gotten statements at Donald Trump's conviction. Yeah, where do you think all this Donald Trump is Jesus stuff comes from? How do you think your churches got so infected? Well, I got to tell you, folks, don't sleep on these people. Don't sleep on these people. This is what Ralph Reed's doing. Thank you for the support there, Mike. I appreciate you. This is Ralph Reed. I mean, everybody thought he was done. When he got busted, when they got found guilty in court for defrauding Indian tribes for gambling, to utilize the churches to make all that happen, everybody said, he's done. He's done. You have embarrassed the churches, and he's done. But, here we have Ralph Reed, this election cycle. Ralph Reed's army, the Faith and Freedom and Faith Coalition, whatever the hell, army plans to spend $62 million to boost evangelical turnout. They're literally signing up voters in the churches. They're registering voters in the churches. They claim it's just, nonpartisan, of course. Nonpartisan, my ass. My ass. My rather ample ass. But, there's some questions that you've got to ask yourself. This is Open Secrets, where Open Secrets takes the actual FEC filings and talk about what people actually spent. Well, let's take a look. The Faith and Freedom Coalition, 2012, they only spent $6,000. 2014, they only spent $2,000. 2016, 2018, another $6,000. How is an organization that's only spending, and you notice it's all red, it's all Republicans, it's completely partisan. How are they going to spend $62 million? And they tell you what they're doing, folks. They're going to church members' homes. They're doing home visits. The Trump campaign's broke. I don't care what they're lying and saying they're bringing in. They're freaking broke, man. They're not raising money for crap. But the churches, they're doing the legwork. They're doing the ground game. We Democrats have set up offices. We're meeting with people. We are getting people. We're going out, people just like you, and we're getting volunteers, and we are absolutely getting people to go knock on doors and register voters. They're using the churches. They're going to people's homes from the churches. And yes, absolutely. They are, it's tax fraud. It's 100% tax fraud. Your church is involved with these organizations. If you are, I go to church every Sunday Christian, your church is involved with these organizations, because the way they got their foot in the door was they bribed your pastor. They bribed your priest. See, they have, one of the ways they did it is they've got a stable of celebrity pastors of each, of different faiths. And they're really good at what they do. They really pump you up. They put on a good Sunday show and they bring in a lot of money. And they're well known in the church crowd. They're celebrities. And they would promise, if you do the work for the Republican Party, we are going to send you this pastor and you are going to make a lot of money. You're going to make a lot of money. So in return, Republican, register people for the Republican Party, speak on Republican issues. When we tell you abortion is bad, even though the church really didn't give a shit about abortion, up into the 60s, 70s, they didn't care. They didn't even talk about it at all. But old Ralph Reed figured out it was a wedge issue, and in the 80s and 90s, and all of a sudden churches cared about abortion. Yeah, folks. That's why you don't understand, how the hell can you compare Donald Trump at all to Jesus Christ? How can people that are supposed to be religious take somebody who followed a woman into, first of all, what the hell was he doing in the lingerie section of the Bergdorf Goodman? What the hell was Trump doing walking around in the lingerie section of Bergdorf Goodman, the freak? But follows a woman, E. Jean Carroll, into a dressing room, slams her against a wall, shoves his tongue in her frickin' mouth and his hand up her pants. She uses her knee to fight him off and then hauls ass. And your church, that's my guy. Him and his son stole from a children's cancer charity. Yeah, while married. Yeah, cheated on every wife he's ever known. They stole from a children's cancer charity. Ended up having to shut their own charity down. But your church, that's my guy. We're going to register voters for him. Just got convicted for falsifying business records, hiding an affair with a hooker and a porn star, cheating on his wife, his third wife. I don't know. Some of you do your religions say divorce is bad? I don't know. His third wife. He's cheated on every single wife. He's been accused of rape. He's been adjudicated for having committed rape. He attacks women, calls them dogs. But hey, your church, that's my guy. But the guy that's been a Catholic for 40 years, goes to church every damn Sunday, loves his family, even his son who has battled addiction. Hate that sumbitch. How did your church get that way? Ralph Reed. Ralph Reed, that's how your church got that way. Colleen Sarah, God, religion, faith is a shiny object GOP uses to pull the lonely, needing to feel needed, heard, and appreciated cult. Amen, sister. Thanks for the support. I appreciate you. I really appreciate you. But how? How are they going to how do they have $62 million to do this? How? These guys right here. They blew a hole in campaign finance laws big enough to drive dump trucks full of church and corporate money through. The 6 people right here, these 6 people right here, these conservatives, mainly the guy right here in the middle, John Roberts, absolutely destroyed our laws that kept this from happening. And we see how they're bribed. We see that they're liars. We see that they're hyper partisans. Samuel Alito doesn't call balls and strikes. He's on the goddamn playing field. Tamara Gatesford, I wonder if he'll stop for a free Slurpee on his way to sentencing. Yeah. But that's what I'm telling you, folks. That's what I'm telling you. I want you to take a good look at this picture. I want you to take a good look at this picture. And I want you to know that that is why your church is being destroyed. That is why there are so many perverted people out there that are not Christians. They call themselves Christians. They carry a Bible as a fashion accessory. But that's why the Republican Party is in your church, and why the church is in the Republican Party is that man right there. And they love Donald Trump. They love Russia too, by the way. They've all gone to Russia. There are pictures with all of them and Putin. So yeah, folks, that's what we're up against. The question is, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Good news is it doesn't fly anymore. Their lies are not flying anymore. It won't stay that way. They'll adapt. They always adapt. They change. I mean, they're never going to quit fighting. But they're losing. And they're losing because of you. MAGA is the weakest political movement on the frickin' planet. They claim to be the toughest, the strongest. Look at us. Oh, yeah, the conviction just made us strong. No, it didn't. You were weak to start with, and it made you weaker. Think about just your family. How many of your family have you cut off and isolated? Much less the political. MAGA is pure weakness, and people keep falling for it because they just pretend they're strong. And people follow strength, even pretend strength, if they don't know the difference. But, the proof is in the pudding. They were supposed to kill us in the last, off-year election. They were supposed to absolutely destroy us. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Because people have to live in reality. Your talk can only go so far. Period. Full stop. They have done so many things and are doing so many things. People were posting about the 2025 project, talking about row the vote. Yes, they really took away rights and freedoms from women, and they intend to make it worse. They're telling you out of their own mouth they're going to make it worse. That's funny. He wanted to make a donation of $34 for 34 convictions. That's a good one. I appreciate it. I tell you, I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate the support, folks. I really do. I really do. Duncan, I appreciate you. I mean, all the comments are fantastic, and the support keeps the lights on. Keep us loud. I appreciate you. But folks, MAGA is the weakest movement. The only thing they've ever really pulled off is back in 2016. You had an anti-dynasty vote. People were like, we don't want another Clinton. We don't do dynasties in this country. We don't. We've had a Clinton. We're not doing another one. And people didn't really know Trump. Trump's biggest problem is we all know him and what he is and what the Republicans are. And now we have, for the lack of, I don't mean to make it sound diminished in any way, things to vote against. I mean, for Christ's sake, we're voting for our lives. I don't want to diminish it. Thank you for the support from the blog. $20, man. I appreciate you, bud. That's a lot of money, folks. I really appreciate it. Keep supporting your Democratic candidates. They have, I don't know what else to do but to tell you what they're doing, to show you from their own mouths what they're doing. Why you have to volunteer, even though may not seem fun for you. It's a blast. It really is. Block walking, they always get together for dinner afterwards, go have drinks somewhere or something. It is fun. You meet great people that aren't MAGA retards. They aren't. Yeah, I said the R word. I'm not perfect. I say stupid shit sometimes. I'm telling you, folks, we have to. We have to. They're running this shit through the churches. And I want to wrap this up with this. I made an announcement the other day, but so many people didn't hear it. I got so many emails and comments down in the comment section because I did it after I ended the stream. And when I ended the stream, a lot of people got cut off. So let me tell you what I was talking about. My daddy always taught me, don't talk about religion in polite company. You don't do it. Don't do it. And I don't do it, even though, I will tell you my beliefs are a little bit different, and that's about as far as I go. But I went to a graduation the other day, and the speech was for my granddaughter. The speech that was given was just if you weren't part of the cult, it was Christian nationalism coming out of an 18-year-old kid's mouth. And I see what they're doing in the churches politically, and I just can't keep my mouth shut anymore. I just can't. But no, I'm not going to turn this politics show into a political show. Or a religious show. I'm not going to do it. But I am going to not keep my mouth shut. So I'm going to start doing another show, probably on a Saturday. I haven't worked out all the details yet, but I'm going to dig into religion. I am. And just some cliff notes of it. Do I believe that there's a creator? Yeah, I do. Not because of religion or hokiness or there's some God out there with a Wi-Fi connection to my brain somehow. No, I don't believe any of that crap. The reason I believe there's a creator, for many reasons, but all have to do with science. This is just a little sample. I don't want to lose you. I'm not going to go on for long. I promise you. I want you to imagine you're walking on Mars. You're in your spacesuit, right? You're walking along on Mars. You come around a bend and you see a building there, a brick building. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Well, that tells you, one, it's a man-made structure. That structure is of intelligent design. Why? Right angles. Nature doesn't do right angles. The uniformity of the bricks. Someone was there. Someone did that. So when they ask me, do you believe in a creator? I look at the universe and I say, okay, I am scientifically literate. I know that if I took you and I shrunk you down and you could see atoms, they are more uniform than any brick we've ever made. It would look to you like energy Legos. Everything. Everything would look to you like energy Legos snapped together. That is proof. I don't need faith. I don't need some bullshit nonsense about, that goat herders wrote in a book thousands of years ago so they could manipulate people. There are scientific reasons to believe if you just look. Take a look at the sun. What does the sun do? And I'm talking about my beliefs, not what you believe, what you have to believe. I'm talking about my beliefs. Take a look at the sun. What does the sun do? Well, one, it protects us. It keeps us confined in an area of space. It's dragging us through space. Quite quickly, by the way, we're not sitting still. If you actually look at a real picture of it, you look at a picture of the solar system, it's always shown to you in 2D with the sun. It's not. We're corkscrewing through space, held in place by the sun. Right? True. What else does the sun do? It provides all the energy for everything that grows. Your food comes from the sun. All of the energy, everything, all of the materials that we are made of, that life is created out of, comes from the hearts of stars. This is all science. This is not disputable. I haven't said anything that is religion. I'm simply saying that's what it is. I'm not selling salvation. My religion has nothing to do with salvation. My religion is science-based. It's based on humanity and science. It's the church of humanity and science is what it is. But if you look at what the sun does and you did it objectively, not trying to put religion into it or anything, just said you had a device that did everything the sun did, it's identical to what you do when you take care of a pet. If you had a lizard or a snake confinement or anything else, everything that you would do, the sun does for us exactly that. And yes, I believe that there are systems. I don't believe in a purpose. I don't believe in salvation. I don't believe that there's a deity out there with a Wi-Fi connection to my brain, because we know what the brain is. We know that whole thing of there's somebody out there that knows all of your thoughts and feelings and all that other stuff and can read and will judge you in the end by all, based on all your thoughts and feelings. No, it doesn't exist. It does not exist. There's no mechanism in your brain that exists. But you know what does exist? All of the systems, society. And no, I don't believe the sun is a living entity. I think it was just kind of like when you plant a garden. You have the irrigation systems. The sun drives our weather. It is a constantly replenishing water source. So yeah, these are the things that drive my beliefs. Do I believe in heaven and hell and all that other stuff? No, I do not. Do I believe in Abrahamic religions? No, I do not. But do I believe there was a creator? Yeah, I think scientifically, if you're honest with yourself and you look, yeah, something created all this. They did, but we don't know it. And we don't know it. And I believe that we are heading, evolution is a system. And I want to tie that into Pride Month, okay? I was going somewhere with this. I want to tie that, this month we celebrate our LGBTQ plus friends. They exist. They exist. And a person is gay or transgender or because of the construction of their brain. It is what they are. And they are who they are because of what we all are. Our reproductive process, evolution, that scientific, glorious, universe building system that I believe I tie to my religious beliefs, tries variations. It does. It tries variations. You're not a carbon copy of your parents, by the way. You aren't. Evolution exists. And there will always be gay and lesbian people. There will, because it's part of the process. It is part of the reproductive process. Not everybody is as sexual as everybody else. There's some people that are just dominated by their sexual desires, and there's some people that are damn near asexual. There's some people that are asexual. They just don't reproduce. They have no use for it. It's all a construct in our mind. It's the way our mind is constructed. It biologically drives us to be who we are. And there will always be those variations, just like there are physical variations within us. So you cannot hate gay people. They are not other. They are us. We are all the same system. And if I had to say God had a plan, the creator had a plan, he doesn't talk to me. He doesn't talk to you. He doesn't talk to anybody. Nobody has been in touch with that person. We don't live long enough to even recognize something that could create a universe. I mean, I want you to think about the smartest person. Who's the smartest person? Neil deGrasse Tyson. I want you to think about the amount of time he has on Earth to think about physics and astrophysics. Deduct the time he sleeps, deduct the time he eats, deduct the time he does anything and everything else besides work on that. And what do you get? You get maybe a few total weeks or months out of his entire existence if you just stack the time together. Maybe a year out of his existence. We are a spark. We are a spark. And I believe our evolutionary process is leading to this. We're becoming smarter and smarter and smarter. And at one point, we will be able to map the neurons in our brains. We will be able to completely map. There are actual circuits within the brain is how we imprint information and it stays there. You wonder how memory works and this, that. That's a deep, in-depth conversation. Just know that one day we will be able to map all of that. And when we can, we will be able to digitize all of that. And you will see the end of death. We will not physically, like so much science fiction, exist forever. This body will not, but they will be able to digitize your mind at some point in the future. And at that point, when we're no longer looking at a few weeks or a few years, but someone like Neil deGrasse Tyson or whoever's as smart he is in the future will have lifetimes to consider the universe. We might discover what our creator actually is or actually was. And I think that's where we're going. That's just a Cliff's Notes of what I believe. And I'm going to start talking about it in another show. Not this show. This show is about politics. But I just wanted to let you know that was the announcement that I had the other day that not everybody got. And we have to, folks. We have to, because they are bastardizing religion. They are bastardizing churches. They're using manipulation. And when I say this, folks, please understand. Please understand. One of my deepest held beliefs is I am not trying to convert or convince anybody to my beliefs. No one is qualified to do that. No one. Your religious identity is part of who you are. That's why the churches start as children. And when I do, I am actually going to found a church. And when I do, one of the rules is going to be no children. This is a serious adult subject. This is not what children, the reason churches have children involved is so that they can indoctrinate them from birth. That's why they do it. Yes, exactly. Literally brainwashing. But one of the key tenets of my faith is I am not qualified to attack your faith. Your faith is part of your identity and who you are. I am in no way qualified to challenge that and have you be okay at the end of it. That takes a psychological professional. That's why I tell you, don't try to get these cult people out of their cult. The MAGA cult, they have bred religion and politics together, and they are a cult. You cannot get them out of that cult. That takes a real professional. All we can do is be the majority that we are and vote for good and decent things. That's all we can do. Not the way you do. I believe your soul is your consciousness. And I hate to disappoint you folks. It's not a really great selling point, but every religion from the beginning of time to now, each new religion comes on and they sell one thing. What's next? They sell the afterlife. They do. You know, it started way back in the day. If you go back and look at Greek mythology and whatnot, the afterlife wasn't so great. For the average person, basically all they promised them was that you're going to drink a serum and you're not going to remember any of this shit. I'm not kidding. Go back and study it. Elysian Fields, what was there? The only people that got to remember who they were generals and heroes, and that. Not making it up, folks. It's their religion, not mine. And each religion following that has promised more and more into the afterlife. I'm not selling anything because I'm not promising you an afterlife. I'm not. There is no scientific anything that says when you die, there's something next. Anywhere. And people selling like the idea that, well, maybe it's another dimension that we don't know about yet. So yes, there could be an afterlife. There is no physical way to survive existing in another dimension. Your existence and life is very much tied to the physicality of this world right here and right now. I can change the oxygen content in your air and kill you and cease your existence. How the fuck do you think you're going to live in another dimension? Anyways, that's all for religion. Not going to talk about it anymore. This is a political show. If you want to talk religion, I'm going to do another show on like Saturday. We're going to talk about serious issues. We're going to talk about the LGBT plus community. My religion is based around society, the importance of society. That's what we're going to do. But that's the show I have for you folks. Listen to what they're telling you. They're telling you. These organizations are telling you they're going to your church and they are recruiting. They are doing the exact same thing we do legally, where we go knock on people's doors. Hi, how you doing? I'm with the Democratic Party. Are you registered to vote? Oh, you'd like me to leave? Okay, have a good day. Or, hi, I'm with the Democratic Party. Are you registered to vote? No, I'm a Republican. Well, that's okay. We register everybody. Would you like me to register you to vote so you can vote in the next election? Oh, sure. Well, here, fill this out. Or, hi, how you doing? I'm with the Democratic Party. Are you registered to vote? No, I don't really follow politics much. Well, hey, you know what? I'm here to answer any questions you have, any questions you've got. And you know what? I've got a voter registration form. If you fill it out, I am legally obligated to turn this in for you. And you will be registered to vote here. So if you decide to, you can. They're doing it through the churches. They're mixing church and politics, which is a crime, by the way, because they don't fucking pay taxes. And they're doing it for one party. One party and one party only. That's a crime. I love you, folks. That's what I have for you today. We're out of time. Enjoy some Texas cities at night.